My beloved child, everything is nearing its end, and you no longer have much time. There is one who is leading you ever closer to the edge of the abyss, and if you do not leave him now, you will bear what was never meant for you. This is not a warning given lightly. There are exactly 3 minutes left, and your choice will carry eternal weight. I have remained silent for too long, waiting for you to speak. But your silence has only fed the darkness. And if you continue to remain silent, it will be seen as your agreement with abandonment. I see you. I see you pretending not to hear my voice. I see you nod toward the light in the daytime but whisper to the darkness when no one is watching. You think your silence is harmless, but to the enemy, it is an invitation. Your indifference is all he needs to enter. He does not require a door swung wide open, just a crack wide enough to sow doubt. One moment when your heart turns away from me. And with every passing second, he is building his throne inside your heart. Do you remember Peter? He walked with me, ate with me, yet when faced with danger, he said 3 times, I do not know the man, not with curses, but with silence and denial. He let fear shape his response. And that is exactly what the enemy wants you to do, to stay silent, to deny, to retreat. I am not weary because I despise you. I am weary from waiting. And you still do not return. Every day I open my arms, but you walk by as though I do not exist. You say you believe in me, yet that belief has never driven you to tears of repentance. You still choose things that harm your soul simply because they feel more pleasant than my call. You've forgotten that the first love didn't come to hold your hand through life. He came to pull you out of hell. Do not wait for a miracle. Do not wait until pain brings you to despair to remember me. The life I offer is not found at the end of the world's path. It begins the moment you turn around. But I will not force you. You must choose. Either step out of the tightening snare, or let your silence become a covenant with evil. Today, not tomorrow. Right now you must choose love again. Choose life again. My beloved, I know you did not mean to. I know you did not step into the dark because you hated the light, but because you were tired, worn thin by 1,000 voices. In this noisy world, my call sometimes feels like a whisper, and the enemy knows that. He does not come with a roar, but with a murmur, adeseptibegeis, and promises he never intends to keep. You didn't turn from me in a day, but little by little, as your heart drifted toward what sounded more comforting than the truth. I see it, and I am not angry, but my heart breaks. When you were weak, I longed to hold you. When you stumbled, I reached for you. But you chose to believe that voice instead, the one that said, he no longer cares. He told you that I am cold, harsh, just waiting to punish. And in your wavering, you heard him louder than me. You forgot that I am your Father, the one who loves you so deeply that every tear you shed leaves an imprint on my heart. You forgot that my love was never based on your performance, but on who you are, the one I created, the one I chose, the one I have never given up on. The enemy has painted a picture of a distant, stern, impatient God, and I grieve not because you doubt me, but because you are suffering alone while I am still right here. He's made you believe that you must be strong to be loved, that you must be worthy to come near. But child, if a child must be clean before a father lifts him up, is that love real at all? I carried you when you were covered in mud. I wiped your tears when you hurt yourself. And I will continue to do so if you will let me. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine, but my love is not immune to pain. Every time you believe those lies, it is as if you place your fragile hands into fire thinking it is light. And when you're burned, I do not scold, but my heart aches. I know the cost of those lies. They don't just confuse you, they are killing parts of your soul. I once breathed life into. I did not come to scold. I came to remind you, I am still me, and you are still you. Nothing you've done could make me love you less. But I must show you that if you continue to follow the enemy, you will drift further, until you can no longer hear my voice calling. Child, don't let that happen. Don't let his sweet-sounding words make you forget the truest voice, mine. That voice is still here, and it is still calling you home. My beloved, I need you to understand this with absolute clarity. The enemy of your soul does not come to play games. He does not rest, does not love, and is never fair. He is not like the obvious evils you can easily spot and avoid. No, he is a master of disguise. He knows how to cloak himself in beauty, in logic, in pleasant emotion, and sometimes even in light. But what he truly brings is ruin. Not just a fall, but strategic, calculated, merciless destruction. I see how you are slowly being pulled into the empty promises he whispers into your mind. A bit of unchecked pleasure, a bit of effortless success, a few flattering words from the world. They may seem harmless, but all of them are designed to draw you away from me. He doesn't need you to hate me. He only needs you to be busy, distracted, indifferent. You think you're living free, but you're being drawn into a game he has already rigged. The more convinced you are that you're fine, the tighter he wraps those golden chains around your soul. And when you awaken, you'll realize how far you've drifted, even though your feet never moved. You think someone must speak his name or open a door to let him in. But no, child, he doesn't need an invitation. Your silence is enough. Your neglect is a signal. Your indifference is an entryway. You don't have to declare loyalty to him. You just have to turn your back on me. And he already has a foothold. He wastes no moment when I am no longer first in your heart. That's when he plants doubt, inflates emotion, and convinces you that you no longer need me. Child, I'm not saying this to frighten you. I say it because I love you. The enemy hates you because you bear my image. He loathes the love I have for you, and he wants to sever every bond between us. But you still have the power to choose. You can reject him by running to me. You can defeat him not by your own strength, but by taking my hand, day by day. Remember, my protection is not a prison wall, but a fortress of safety. When you are in me, no scheme of the enemy can touch your soul. But to be protected, you must step into that refuge. Come back. Child, don't let the destroyer steal another moment of what I have prepared for you. For I and I alone am the one who loves you to the very end. My beloved, I know the word obedience sounds heavy in this world. They have taught you to break every boundary, to live your own way, and to control your own fate. But child, obedience to me is not a chain. It is a shield around your soul. When I say don't, it is not because I want to keep joy from you, but because I know what hides behind that fleeting delight. I do not extinguish your freedom, I preserve it. Because I know what can destroy you. You were created with free will. It is a gift, not a burden. I did not design you as a machine that obeys without thought. I want you to choose me every day, like a lover chooses their beloved, not by force, But don't let freedom become an excuse to follow your impulses. True freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is having the strength to say no to what is wrong and yes to what is right. And what is right always brings you closer to me. Real freedom is being your truest self, not ruled by sin, emotion, or outside pressure. My covering is not a wall that holds you back. It is like a great tree in the desert, shelter from the sandstorm, rest from the burning sun. When you walk under my guidance, you are not confined. You are delivered from what seeks to ruin you. When you walk in truth, you do not lose yourself. You find yourself, for only I know what you were created to be, and only I can lead you there. My protection doesn't restrict you. It shapes you into the best version of who I made you to be from the very beginning. I do not want your obedience as a cold obligation. I want it to flow from your trust in me, your love for me, your belief that all I ask comes from love. When you believe me, you'll see that every boundary I set has a higher purpose. Every path I ask you to leave behind is because I have a better one waiting for you. I never take something from you without replacing it with something better. But you can only see that when you obey, when you let me lead. So, my dear child, if today you are tired from trying to control everything, if you are confused by what is real and what is false, stop, place your hand in mine, and let me lead you. Obeying me does not make you weak. It makes you strong in a way the world cannot understand. In me, you do not lose your freedom. In me, you are finally free, my beloved child. I want you to understand this clearly. Grace is not an excuse for you to continue living in what I have already rescued you from. Grace is not a get-out-of-jail-free card to return to what once wounded your soul. Grace is power. It is strength from me, so that you may rise, overcome temptation, and live a life of true freedom. When you say, God will forgive, but your heart has no intention of turning from sin, you cheapen my love. Yet my love for you is not cheap. It was paid in blood, through the cross, through the pain I endured so you could live. I pour my mercy upon you every day, and I have never held it back. But child, mercy means nothing without repentance. Forgiveness cannot work in a heart that clings to darkness and refuses to let go. I do not demand perfection from you, but I long for a genuine heart, a heart that dares to confess, to turn around, to start again. When you repent, I will never reject you. But when you use grace to justify what is wrong, you are hardening your heart against true love. The enemy knows the power of grace, which is why he tries to twist it. He whispers, God understands. Just keep going. While he tightens the chains around you day by day through the very things he tempts you with. He is not afraid of you going to church, reading the Bible, or calling yourself a believer, as long as you still live as if I am not in your heart. He is clever in making you feel like you're okay, as long as you keep saying, my name. But if my name is only on your lips and not alive in your heart, then you are walking into danger, and he knows it. My beloved child, return to the truth. I gave you grace not so that you would stay stuck in the cycle of falling, apologizing, and falling again. I want to see you rise, stand strong, and walk away from what is hurting you. I do not condemn you, but I also cannot pretend that sin doesn't matter. True love walks hand in hand with truth. And the truth is, you were not created to live in sin, but to live in the light. Grace is not a hiding place to keep living the same. It is the doorway into a new life. And today, I am opening that door before you. My child, I am still here, still waiting, still calling, still reaching out to you just as I did from the beginning. Even if you've turned your back, even if you've wandered far, I've never left my place. You thought I abandoned you, but it was you who stopped listening. Still, I believe in what I placed inside of you. My faith in you is not shaken by your failures. I do not see you through your past, but through the potential I've sown, and it is still there, waiting to be awakened. Each day you open your eyes is another chance I've given, not for you to sink deeper into old patterns, but to turn around. No distance is too far for me to welcome you back. No sin is too deep for my grace to reach. You don't need to get yourself together to return. Just make an honest decision. Just one cry of, Lord, I need you, and all of heaven will move to receive you. No matter how far you've gone, you are only one step away from me, the step of coming back. But child, returning is not just a fleeting emotion. It is an act. It is when you truly step into my presence, surrendering everything you once tried to control. I cannot rescue you if you remain outside the door. I may knock, but you must open. I may call, but you must approach. Only when you choose to enter will I move with all the power, love, and deliverance I am ready to give. I want to do something new, but I need you to let go of the old. You still have a chance. A new life is still waiting. Not a fragile life with a few peaceful days, but a life with foundation, purpose, and hope. In that place, you will no longer be one who runs away, but one who is sent, no longer carrying hidden burdens, but shining with light. I have prepared you for a life far greater than anything you've known, but you must return. You must step in, and I promise, if you come back, I will restore you not as you were, but better than ever before. My child, sometimes my silence is also a voice, not because I have nothing more to say, but because I want to see if you're still listening. There are moments when I pull back my whisper, not to abandon you, but so that your heart can feel the emptiness when I am no longer the center. Like a father watching his child take their first steps. Sometimes I stand still so you learn to move toward me not out of force, but out of desire. But now, when you have wandered too far, I can no longer remain still. I speak clearly, earnestly, urgently, because you are no longer playing near the edge, you are hanging over it. The enemy doesn't wait for you to mature in faith before he begins his assault. He is not patient like I am, not kind like I am, and certainly not loving like I am. He doesn't care how tired you are, how wounded you are, the more hurt, the easier his attack. He doesn't destroy you in a single night, but through slow erosion, each choice, each delay in returning. He uses pain as bait, shame as chains, and fleshly desire as an open door to go deeper. He doesn't need a grand declaration from you, just a small nod, a little compromise, a single glance away from me. And that is how he enters. He won't lie in ways that are too obvious. He's cunning. He wraps destruction in promises of deserving, cloaks loneliness with false connections, coats sin with the lipstick of freedom. But the ending is always the same. Your soul erodes until you no longer remember what once made you alive. He doesn't need to kill your body. He wants to kill what is still alive in you, your joy, your faith, your hunger for holiness, your memory, that you were once a child of light. And in that place, you will no longer feel guilt, only emptiness. No more resistance. No more repentance. Just numbness in the gray space between right and wrong. Between truth and illusion. Between me and him. That is when I grieve the most. Not when you fall. Not when you scream in weakness, but when you no longer long to return. When you settle for a just enough life, dry and reluctant in spirit, and call it normal. But child, I have not given up. Even if everyone else turns away from you, even if you reject yourself, I still call, not with thunder, but with weeping, not with wrath, but with the broken breath of a father watching his child be deceived. Because I know exactly who laid the snare. I know what he whispered in your ear. I saw what he murmured in the dark when you were alone. And I waited not because I am weak, but because I want you to choose me, not out of fear, but out of love. You do not know when the last moment will come, the last time you can still hear my voice like this. Not because I will stop speaking, but because your heart will stop listening. Every time you push away my call, your ears close a little more. Every delay in repentance hardens your heart further. One day, my voice will still echo, but your heart will no longer respond. And that, my child, is the most frightening thing. Not fire, not punishment, but numbness. The total drifting away from me while you no longer feel the need to return. So today, if you are still reading these words, it means your heart still holds a soft place. It may be small, it may be fading, but it is still there. I am breathing into it. I am whispering, you can still come back. You can still begin again. You can still live a life not ruled by sin, or fear, or darkness. You are not what you've done. You are the one I destined to walk in light, not because you deserved it, but because I chose you before you even knew me. But you must step out. I do not force doors open. I do not push my way in. I knock and knock and knock. I knock through dreams you can't explain. Through songs that choke your heart, through the strange emptiness even when you have everything, through the tears you don't know where they come from. That is me. I am still calling. I am still waiting. But the door only opens when you reach out your hand. Do not fear repentance. Do not fear admitting you've lost your way. In my house, returning is not defeat, it is victory. In tears of repentance, you will find strength. In confession, you will find healing. There is nothing you can do that will make me stop loving you. But you must let that love change you. Not because I need you to be perfect, but because I want you to be free, truly free. How long have you lived in pretense? How long have you called survival strength? How long have you said, God understands? While repeating the very thing that is killing you slowly, don't say, tomorrow will be different. Don't wait for one more sign, one more chance, one perfect moment. Perfection will not come, only obedience. And it is in obedience that miracles happen, not always through dramatic transformation, but through one small, genuine step toward me. I do not ask you to know everything. I just want you to be sincere, to be honest, to dare to say, Lord, I need you. And when you say that, I will not only draw near, I will embrace you. Not to scold, not to settle scores, but to heal, to remind you, you are still my child. So don't let this call pass as just another emotional message. Don't close the screen and return to old patterns. I don't want emotions, I want your heart. Whole. Undivided. I don't need you to do more. I need you to truly surrender, because in surrender, you will find what your soul has been searching for all along: life, love, meaning. Don't keep walking away. Come back. Tonight. Right now, let this be a new beginning. My beloved child, do not let this world redraw your face. Do not allow it to rename you with a name I have never called you. What it assigns to you today will hold no value tomorrow. It shifts like the wind across a wilderness, praising you one moment, discarding you the next. It calls confusion freedom. It exalts pride and labels it strength. But, my child, what the world calls progress, I see as fracture. What it chants as liberty, I see as chains tightening around your soul. The world does not know why you were created, and so it will always define you by what it needs, not by who you truly are. It needs you to consume, so it calls you a customer. It needs your compliance, so it teaches you to mimic the crowd. It needs your silence so evil can rest unbothered, so it labels your courage as too much. And if you live by its voice, you will die by its verdict. The world does not reward faithfulness, it only applauds your conformity to its will. But if you refuse to follow the well-worn path of this world, if you choose me, I will give you a name that cannot be replaced. I will clothe you in righteousness not because of your merit, but because of my love. I will not let your heart drift with the tides of emotion. I will lift your gaze above the storm and set your feet on solid rock. You will no longer echo the empty phrases learned from the masses, but you will speak words of life, words that awaken. I will make you a lamp in the night, and you will no longer tremble, for my light will burn away every fear within you. You were not made merely to survive, to drag yourself through the days with weary resignation. No, you were born to reign, not over others, but over everything that once defeated you, to reign over the fear that silenced your voice, to reign over the lies that made you doubt your worth, to reign over the shame that tempted you in the dark, to reign over the chaos within your soul you've mistaken for personality. But you cannot reign by the strength of your own fragile will. It is my Spirit who will do it through you. I have not left you to fight alone. I have given you a helper, not distant, not silent, not vague. He lives in you, whispers when you're unsure, lifts you when you're weary, and draws you back every time you stray. He is the nudge in your conscience, the unease when you near the wrong, the cry inside you when you feel hollow in a crowded room. Do not shut your ears to that voice. Do not be ashamed of conviction. It is the proof that you are still loved. But you must respond. You must pause. You must take off the mask of "I'm fine" that you've worn too long. I do not need you to pretend before me. You are not fine, and I knew that before you ever admitted it. But the beauty is this: I do not need you to be fine in order to come close. I need you to be honest. Only in true surrender can healing begin. You cannot receive new life while clinging to pride. My grace does not pour into a bowl that's already full. It floods into the empty, the humble, the broken. Do you still think I only love you when you get it right? No. I loved you long before you knew how to get it wrong. And that very love, if you let it reach, you will make you never want to live wrong again. I do not seek empty rituals. I seek a heart. I am not impressed by outer devotion if it is not born from the longing to be close to me. I did not call you to play the role of a good believer. I called you to live truly in my presence. And when you do, when you stop living to be accepted and start living as one who is already chosen, you will finally know what freedom truly is. Not the freedom to do whatever you please, but the freedom to no longer be ruled by anything other than me. Freedom to love, to forgive, to walk in holiness you once thought impossible. Freedom to face the dark without fear of being consumed. Freedom to say no to what's false and yes to what is true, even when the price is rejection from the world. My child, it is time to rise. Do not let another day pass without knowing who you are in me. Do not let the world define your worth, when I, the one who formed you with the breath of eternity, have already declared it. Do not hand your soul over to fleeting names, fading applause, and hollow standards. Let me call your name again. Let me restore you. Let me show you who you truly are, in me, by me, for me. My beloved, I know these past days you have carried so many silent questions, unspoken doubts that have quietly gnawed at your heart. Why did God let this happen to me, if He loves me? Why does it hurt this much? I have heard every whispered word. I am not angry. I do not blame you. I hurt because I know you've misunderstood me. You imagined me like a man quick to anger, quick to leave, quick to change his mind. But I am not man. I am Father, and I am the everlasting Father, full of mercy and patience. I have never used suffering to punish you. Every time you hurt, I hurt 1,000-fold. When you sat alone in the dark, I was there beside you. When you wept in silence through sleepless nights, I listened to every sob. Not one tear has fallen from your face without me taking notice. Not one fear has touched your heart without me reaching out to shield you. Yet still, you thought I had left. You heard a voice in your mind. He's angry with you. He's disappointed. You're not worthy anymore. And you believed it? You let it define me. You let that lie replace the truth of my love. But today, I plead with you, listen to my voice. Not that one. It says you are unworthy, I say you were bought with blood. It says you've gone too far, I say. My arm has never been too short to reach you. It condemns, I rescue. It drowns you in shame, I carry you into restoration. O child, do not call me by the distorted image your enemy painted. Let me reintroduce myself to you not through dogma, not through wounds, but through real love. Love that does not shift. Love that holds no shadow of condition. Love strong enough to be nailed to a cross just to keep you from hell. You cannot walk both lines anymore. You cannot hold on to darkness and expect to remain in the light. Light does not negotiate with shadows. One must retreat when the other enters. And I am the eternal light. When I come in, darkness must flee. But I can only come if you open your heart. You cannot cling to the flesh and expect to live by the Spirit. You cannot keep hiding, justifying, delaying, and still hope to receive the fullness of blessing I have prepared for those who obey. The time for compromise has ended. This is the hour to choose, not because I demand it, but because real life cannot be built on pretense. Yes, I am the God who forgives. But I do more than forgive, I cleanse. I do not merely wipe tears, I heal the roots. I do not only erase sin, I break chains. When I touch you, I do not leave you as I found you. I love you too much to leave you unchanged. My forgiveness is not to ease a guilty conscience, but to resurrect a dead soul. My mercy does not cover sin, so it may live, it puts sin to death. So a new person may rise. But that cannot happen if you still live with a divided heart. Listen to me, my beloved. This time, don't skim past these words. Stop. Let your heart grow still. Let your mind stop debating. Let truth soak into the deepest parts of your soul. Because this is not merely advice, it is a calling. A desperate cry from my heart to yours. Not an empty warning, but an invitation into real life, where you no longer run, no longer hide, no longer live behind masks and performance. Oh child, do not be afraid to turn back. Do not believe it is too late. No matter how far you've gone, I am still waiting at the crossroads where you took the wrong turn. I never left. I never gave up hope. My arms are still open. My heart is still tender. My eyes are still searching for you. And if today you return, I will not ask, why did you take so long? I will only say, welcome home. Do not let the world bury your essence. Do not let failure rewrite your destiny. Do not let Lee's author your story. For I alone am the author and finisher of your faith. I know where to begin. I know what to heal. I know how to turn ashes into a crown of glory. But you must place your hand back into mine. You must stop fighting for control. You must surrender. You cannot save yourself. And I never asked you to. That is why I came. That is why I died. That is why I live still, to bring you from death into life. And that life, my child, is still waiting. Not far off. It's right here in the very decision you are about to make. My beloved child, do you still think of me as a distant deity? Enthroned in radiant light, too holy to draw near to you in your darkness? Have you heard them say that I keep a meticulous record of every wrong you've done? Waiting like a cold judge for the day of condemnation. You've been deceived. That is not who I am. You've seen me through the lens of your pain, through betrayal, through the blurred images religion has shaped in dry tradition, and then you mistook me for them. But I am not like man. I do not change like shifting shadows. I do not love you today only to turn my back tomorrow. I do not say, I forgive you, while secretly keeping score in my heart. I am who I am, the one who has loved you with an unchanging love from everlasting to everlasting. Did I not say, I know the plans I have for you, plans for peace and not for harm, to give you a future and a hope? These words were not random, not pretty lines to soothe the faint-hearted, nor slogans meant for church walls. They came from my heart, the heart of the one who formed you from dust and breathed into you divine life. I mean what I say. I do not make empty promises. Every word from my mouth is eternal, and I never withdraw what I have spoken. You are not an accident in this vast world. You are not a mistake. You are not unknown. Every heartbeat of yours, every dream hidden within, every deep fracture, unseen by others, I know them all. And no, I do not recoil at them. I do not stand afar in judgment. I come close, to touch what you try to hide, the very things that make you feel unworthy of love. But in me, there is no such thing as conditional love. I do not love you only when you get it right, and despise you when you fall. I love you completely, and it is that love, not shame, that has the power to heal. I saw you at your most desperate moment. When no one else was there, I was. When you wept alone in the night, I did not turn away. When you believed no one cared whether you even existed, I was the one who counted every hair on your head. I am the one who wrote your story, not with ink, but with the very blood of my son. And my child, if you knew how far I went just so you could live, you would never again doubt my love for you. The enemy has painted a distorted picture of me in your mind, that I demand too much, that I am out to find fault, that I am the source of your pain. But he is the father of lies. He is the one who flipped the truth upside down, calling evil good, calling darkness light, exalting rebellion while mocking holiness. And if you are not watchful, you will be swept along by those twisted definitions. You will begin to believe that success means applause from the world, that freedom means doing whatever you want, that love means abandoning all boundaries. But that is not freedom. My child, it is a gilded chain. I did not create you to chase after fleeting praise. I did not breathe life into you for a life of anxiety, doubt, and endless striving. I created you to reign, not to rule over others, but to stand firm in the face of fear, temptation, and the lies the enemy whispers into your thoughts. I made you to walk in authority not by your own strength, but by my Spirit. He is the comforter, gentle wisdom, the quiet voice that convicts when you drift, not to condemn, but to guide you home. But to be led, you must listen. You must yield. You must accept that saying, "I am not okay," is a confession I cherish. Do not pretend to be strong before me. I don't need masks. I need your real heart. And it is precisely when you admit your weakness, your need for me, that my grace will pour out, not like a passing rain, but like a waterfall strong enough to cleanse, renew, and revive your weary soul. You don't need to keep wearing yourself out under the spotlight of the world, trying to prove your worth. You don't need to strive to be accepted. In me, you have always been known, named, and loved. And that love does not end when you fall. It continues. It pursues. It knocks. I do not change, and neither does my word. When I said, "I know the plans I have for you," that remains true today. That plan is not dead because you failed. It did not vanish when you took a wrong turn. It's still there, waiting for you to turn back, waiting for you to come close, waiting for you to believe that I still choose you again. So, my beloved, do not be afraid to draw near. Do not let shame hold you back. Do not let the accuser's voice drown out my gentle whisper. You don't have to do anything more to earn my love. But once you step into that love, it will transform you, not by force, but through healing. Stop doubting. Believe. Turn back. Because I am still who I am, and you are still my child, and in me you will find peace, hope, and a new beginning. It is never too late. If at times it feels like I am punishing you, like I have turned away from you, my child, take your eyes off the sky and look at the path you've chosen. I am never the source of your pain, but I am the one whose arms are open in the midst of the hurt you bring upon yourself. My words were never meant to weigh you down, but to cover you like soft cloth against the storm. My commands are not walls to cage you, but the dividing line between life and destruction. You often mistake boundaries for burdens, but real love always draws lines, not to limit freedom, but to preserve wholeness. What I teach is not a lock to trap you in rigid rules, but a robe I wrap around your soul to shield it from the thorns of the world. You may not see it now, but one day you will know every command I gave was forged from eternal wisdom, every instruction a beam of light, every boundary a ring of fire protecting your soul from something far worse than pain, emptiness, And when you walk away from those things, when you step out from the covering I placed over you, it is not I who punish you. It is the natural consequence of choosing to leave the light. When light is rejected, darkness does not wait for an invitation. Don't blame the sun when you are burned by fire. Don't accuse the sky of cruelty when you pushed aside the shelter and walked into the storm. What happens is not my revenge, but the echo of choices made quietly but forcefully in your heart. Do you think I am glad when you hurt? No. My child, every time you cry because of what you chose, I hurt with you, not just because of the wound, but because I knew it could have been avoided. I warned. I showed the way. I revealed the thief he doesn't show his face. But his actions are clear. He lures with sweetness, tempts with seemingly harmless words, draws you with loneliness and fleeting lack. He doesn't use brute force, but the slickness of language and the familiarity of emotion. But I never left you alone in that maze. I left the voice of my spirit within you, not shouting, not forcing just a whisper, but strong enough to stir. Every time you were about to take the wrong step, you felt that dull unease, that shapeless restlessness. That was me. When a post gripped your heart, when a melody brought tears without reason, that was me touching your soul. When someone asked a simple question that haunted you all night, that was me trying to pull you back. You were never without a way out. I planted in your life stream opportunities, people, moments, not to confuse your path, but to bring you home. I do not merely sit on a throne and wait. I step into every painful turn. I stand where you fall. I am present even in your worst mistakes, not to tally them, but to extend my hand when you're ready. But you must choose. That is what I will never do in your place. True love never coerces. If I forced you to stay, you'd be a prisoner, not a lover. I want you to choose me, as I have chosen you. I want your heart not from fear, not from duty, but because you've come to see that this love is worth receiving. Don't wait until everything crumbles to look back. Don't wait until all is lost to yearn for return. If you are reading this now, your heart is still beating. That is the first miracle of today. The second is this: I am still here, waiting, patient, with love that hasn't been withdrawn, with an invitation that still stands. My beloved child, I have never walked away from you, but I cannot hold on to a heart that no longer wants to stay. If you choose to turn away, I do not chase after you in anger. I do not shout, nor do I force you. I do not use a whip to draw you back, only my heart. A heart bleeding with love. A heart pierced so that a path home could be opened for you. I do not call you with wrath, but with unrelenting mercy, not with fear, but with a love that outlasts even betrayal. Yet you must know this: when you step out of my presence, you walk away from shelter, not because I cease to protect you, but because you have chosen to leave the embrace. In that choice, you open a door, and the enemy enters uninvited. I did not hand him the key. You did. You may think I punish you when you fall and break, but the truth is, sin carries in itself the seed of destruction. It needs no help from me to deal its damage. It bears its own consequences. And when you suffer, it is not my punishment. It is simply what sin does. Sin does not wait for my permission to harm you. It is a slippery road that always ends in loss. You believe that loss is me trying to teach you a lesson, but it is not. These are the natural results of life apart from me. Peace cannot exist when you reject the source of peace. Purpose becomes invisible when you walk away from the one who wrote every page of your story. Love cannot flourish when it is strangled by lust, by fear, by cravings that only drain your soul, and when weariness, addiction, chaos, regret, wounds, and brokenness come crashing in. Don't call my name as if I caused them. That was the path you chose when you stepped outside. My word. My child. I never placed thorns in your garden. The wounds you carry did not come from my hand. I am the one who planted the garden where your soul could rest, where your mind could be watered by truth, where your heart could find its holy rhythm again. But when you chose to believe the one who promised freedom without obedience, you walked away from that garden. You left me to follow another voice, the voice of the deceiver. He did not promise little, but he never kept his word. He gave only chains wrapped in gold, cages lined with mirrors, so you'd think you were free in your choices. Do you remember what I told you when I said, "Do not lie"? It was not because I fear your words. It's because lies rot the bridge of trust. Even the smallest lie can cast you into loneliness, for your soul was made to live in truth. When I said, "Do not covet," it wasn't to smother your dreams, but because misdirected desires will burn you from within. They steal innocence and leave dependence. They promise fulfillment, only to leave you emptier than before. When I said, "Forgive," it wasn't to ask you to overlook the pain others caused. I saw every wound, every betrayal, every harsh word etched into your soul. But I also knew that if you didn't let go, you would be the only prisoner. Forgiveness does not deny the pain, it hands me the key so you can walk in freedom. And when I said, "Come to me," it wasn't because I needed your worship to feel glorified. I said it because I knew, without me, you would search endlessly and never find. No one else but me can fill the emptiness you carry inside. My child, perhaps you've never heard me speak like this. Perhaps religion made you afraid of me. Perhaps others spoke in my name but lived unlike me, and it caused you to doubt my love. But today, I long for you to hear me, not through institutions, not through old experiences, but my voice alone. Gentle, near. I do not shout. I whisper, and even my whisper can awaken a soul that's been asleep for too long. You don't have to do much to come home. No rituals, no ceremonies. You don't have to become better first. Just be honest. Honest with yourself. Honest with me. Say that you've wandered, that you're tired, that you need healing. And when you say that, I will hold you. No rebuke, no condemning stare, only open arms and a heart that has waited a long time. You were not made for darkness. You were not made to struggle endlessly, lost in a maze of your own making. You were made to live, truly live, to love and be loved, to walk without trembling, to speak truth without fear of rejection. You were made to breathe peace, to rejoice without cause, to give without fear of losing. And this can only happen in me. When you choose me, when you come back, let today be that day. Don't wait for your heart to feel ready. Don't wait for life to be more convenient. My word always comes on time, and you are reading this not by accident. I arranged it. I led you here. I have been patient. And now I say, my child, come home. Not too late. Not hopeless. Not rejected. The door is still open. The light is still shining. I am still waiting. and new life is still waiting for you to step in. My beloved, from the very beginning, I did not create you to suffer as a fate. I created you to walk with me in glory, to move in the light, to live within love, to reign over life rather than be ruled by death. When I formed you from the dust, it was not the act of a distant God. It was the touch of a Father pouring love into every cell of your being. And when I breathed life into your nostrils, you became a living soul bearing my image, carrying my breath, holding a meaning and dignity unmatched by anything in this world. You are not the accidental result of biology. You are a carefully crafted design by the Almighty. I crowned you with honor before anyone ever judged you as good enough. I gave you the right to enter a world full of beauty, where every good thing echoed my words. I saw that it was good, but I did not hide from you the danger. I warned you of the tree in the garden not to limit you, but to protect you from the thief's claws. I knew he was lurking. I saw him even before you did. And the pain in my heart didn't begin when you fell. It began the moment you believed I was withholding something better from you. When the fall came, you thought I would withdraw, but I stepped in while humanity hid in the shadows. I walked in the garden, calling, "Where are you?" Not because I didn't know, but because I wanted you to know I was still seeking. I never abandoned you, and I never will. It was in your lostness that I launched the mission of redemption, not with thunder and might, but with a humble plan saturated with sorrow, yet radiant with glory. I gave my only son. My son, not an angel, not a prophet, but my beloved son took upon himself the punishment that sin demanded. He was not forced. I did not unleash wrath upon him as a scapegoat. No, this was not blind fury. This was justice wrapped in love. For true love cannot ignore evil without confronting it, and justice cannot overlook sin without a ransom. And I, the one who loves you, paid that price with myself. You thought I delighted in punishment. But no, my child, I did not give my son to satisfy wrath. I gave him because my love was greater than letting go. I chose pain so you would not be swallowed in despair. I allowed him to die so you might live. He bore the stripes so you might be healed. He took abandonment so you could be welcomed into my arms. Everything you feared from me, judgment, punishment, destruction, was poured out on him. Nothing remains for you now but love. So why do you still run from me? Why do you still believe I am waiting for you to fail so I can condemn you? Why? When I call your name, do you shrink back into the shadows? Am I not the one who comes? Not with a whip, but with a robe to wrap around you, a ring to place on your finger, a feast to celebrate your return. Do you not know that when Adam and Eve hid, it was I who sewed garments to clothe them? I do not withdraw miracles from the fallen. I draw them out of despair to offer new life. My child, the only thing that keeps you from me now is not sin, but shame without repentance. Not how many times you've fallen, but your refusal to let me lift you up. When you hide, you are listening to the wrong voice. The enemy whispers that I have stopped loving. But if that were true, why would I give my son to the world? If I intended to destroy you, you wouldn't still be here. But you are still breathing. That means grace remains. That means I am still waiting. I do not need you to fix everything before returning. I do not need explanations. I only need your heart to come back. I need you to know that when you step out of the shadows and into my light, everything you fear will vanish. Not because you are strong, but because I am. Not because you deserve forgiveness, but because I have already forgiven. Everything that needed to be done was finished on the cross. The only thing left now is this: will you dare to believe that my love is real, that it is enough, that it still belongs to you? If you dare even one step, I will do the rest. I will heal what is broken. I will restore what is lost. I will wipe every tear. I will replace fear with peace, shame with honor, rejection with the unshakable truth that you are always mine. I am not just your creator. I am your Redeemer who bought you back with everything most precious to me. My beloved child, I have never used pain as a punishment for you. Not once. My heart has never rejoiced at your suffering. If you are in pain, if you feel lost, weary, and hopeless, it is not because I have turned my face away. It is because you have wandered from the place where I designed safety for you. You've stepped onto paths where my footprints are absent. You've opened doors I once whispered to you, "Beloved, do not touch." You've believed sweet-sounding promises I warned you against. That is not my voice. Yet I have not abandoned you. I do not erase your name from my heart because you've strayed. You may have dismissed my presence, but I have never stopped watching over you. In every misstep, I am still writing a greater story, one that can shift direction the moment you choose to turn back. Redemption is not reserved for those who never fall, but for those who dare to return. And it is you whom I am calling back, even in the deepest place of failure. I know how to sow hope, if only you'll open your heart to me. I did not come to monitor you, but to shelter you. I do not desire to force you into a mold, but to protect you from the silent destroyers of your soul. This world is too loud, too hurried, too cruel. It applauds your victories, then turns its back when you fall. It calls wrong right, toxicity, freedom, and destruction normal. I know how those voices have drawn you in, making you feel like you must perform to be loved, to be seen, to not be left behind. But child, true love does not demand proof. It only asks to be received. And I am the one who loved you first, even before you knew how to love yourself. My protection is not a cage, but a great tree of shade in the desert. There, you can rest, breathe, recover, and live as you were created to live. I do not bind you with rules, I hold you with love. I do not take away your freedom. I remove the ruin your enemy would bring. When you walk in my will, you do not lose yourself, you find yourself again. When you choose obedience, you do not forfeit anything truly good. You are spared the fractures you were never meant to carry. Remember this: the enemy creates nothing. He cannot breathe life. He can only distort the image of life I have given. He offers nothing good, only counterfeits in exchange for your surrender. A fleeting pleasure for lasting loss. A hollow promise for inner chaos. A moment of passion for a barren season. He has nothing real to give, only what you hand over when you let go of me. That is why I keep calling you back. Not to control you, but because I know what waits for you if you don't stop. I see the darkness behind the glittering lies. I know what today's compromise will grow into tomorrow. I see the burdens hiding behind seemingly harmless choices. And so I call you, earnestly, patiently, not with a shout, but with a love strong enough to wait for your return. You don't need to come back carrying shame. You don't need to explain yourself with rehearsed excuses. Just come. Come in honesty. Come with this confession. I believed the wrong voice. I strayed, and I need to be led home. When you speak those words, I do not record your faults. I wipe them clean, not through forgetfulness, but through true forgiveness, not through silence, but through restoration. I am still writing your story, and the next page is not yet closed. Even if the chapters before are ash-colored, the next one can shine with light if you let me write it with you. The enemy wants you to think it's too late, that what's broken cannot be rebuilt. But I say this, with me, it is never too late to begin again, to be restored, to step into true life. All it takes is one word: Lord, lead me home, and I will do the rest. You were created to walk in the light, not to wander in shadows. You were made to be free, not to serve the lies of false promises. You were chosen to love and be loved, not to chase after the world's scraps of affection. I have given you a place not beneath your enemy's feet, but within my embrace. Come back to that place. My child, don't wait for something else. Don't let this call pass by like a fleeting wind. My beloved, I hear the sobs within your heart, the silent screams you don't dare let anyone hear. I see your midnight struggles, trying to explain your pain with condemnation. You tell yourself you are being punished, that I am striking you for past wrongs. You repeat self-blaming mantras like a personal sentence. This is God's will. I deserve this. He is teaching me through destruction. But child, I am not a cruel inflictor of random pain. Do not call your wounds my whip when they are the consequence of paths you chose apart from me. Do not mistake me for the destroyer when it is the enemy who prowls to devour you. Yes, I am the one who disciplines, but understand this: my discipline is never to destroy, but to heal. It does not carry bitterness, but holy mercy. When I correct you, it's not to crush you, but to pull you from a fire you don't yet see. That correction may bring tears. It may confuse your heart, but it never comes without purpose. And that purpose is always to bring you home, home to life, home to light, home to me. I take no joy in your pain. I do not stand at a distance watching you suffer to teach you a lesson. That is how the enemy has twisted my image in your mind. He wants you to think I am like man, volatile, irritable, quick to strike when displeased. But my child, I am not like this world. I find no joy in hurting the one I love. On the contrary, when you hurt, my heart breaks too. I cry with you. I hold you when no one else will, and I still hold your hand even when you cannot feel it. True correction comes from a true father, and I am that father. I do not teach with swords and threats, but with a compassionate gaze. I do not punish with lashes, but with truth that leads. When I say no, it's because I'm saying yes to something better. When I stop you, it is not to limit you, but because I see the cliff ahead. And sometimes, when I seem most silent, that is when my hand rests on you most strongly, not to destroy, but to preserve. You were not called to live in fear. In my love, there is no fear of punishment. Those who still fear it have not truly known me. But you are different. You don't just know about me, you have walked with me. You've heard my whisper in the silence. You've felt my warmth on your coldest days. You have been invited to the table not as a stranger, but as a returning child. You have been clothed in righteousness, not by your own merit, but by the sacrifice of my Son. You have been sealed by my promise, a promise that cannot be erased by failure, nor broken by weakness. That promise is stronger than every voice of accusation within you. more enduring than every disappointment you've endured. I have chosen you, and once I have chosen, no circumstance, no past, no mistake can make me change my mind. So lift up your head, my beloved. Do not walk this life as if you are forsaken. Do not see yourself through the lens of pain and say, God no longer loves me. I have never left you. Even when you turned away, I remained. Even when you denied me, I affirmed you. I do not keep a record of your wrongs. I keep a place for you at my table, and that seat is still empty, waiting for you to come home. Let go of the lies. Do not let the enemy's voice become your inner judge. You are not cursed. You have been redeemed. You are no longer a stranger. You are family, bloodline, my beloved child. Though the storm rages around you, though the world changes by the hour, I remain the unchanging one, and my invitation still stands. Come home. Not to be punished, but to rest, not to be judged, but to be held, not to pay for your mistakes, but to receive the reward long prepared for you. Then why, my child, does your heart tremble every time I call? Why do you assume every trial, every pain is my wrath? Dear one, not all suffering comes from my hand. Some wounds are not punishments I've sent, but the result of a broken world. This world veered from my original design long ago, and now it gives birth to pain. Sometimes, you're hurt not because of your wrong, but because someone near you chose darkness over light. Sometimes, you're caught in crossfire from a battle you didn't start, but I also know that sometimes, it was your own step that went astray. Sometimes it was stubbornness, haste, or fear unhanded to me that led you off course. And yes, sometimes you hurt for no deeper reason than this. Your body was not made to last forever. That is the reality of a world not yet fully healed. But in all these things, no matter the cause, I have not changed. I have not left. I am not distant. I am not unfamiliar. I am with you when the flames rise, not to watch you burn, but to walk you through the fire. I am in the storm, not to escape it, but to hold you steady when the winds try to tear you away. When all you've built comes crashing down, I do not retreat from the ashes. I kneel beside them. I stay. I do not forsake you. Even if it was your own hands that dismantled the roof I once gave you through obedience. I am there not with wrath, but with mercy. I do not merely witness the ruin. I help you rebuild if you let me, piece by piece, detail by detail, not rushed, not angry, not condemning. My grace is not afraid of your mess. My mercy knows no limit. My strength is not diminished by a tangled past. I can make all things new, not patched, but transformed, more beautiful, aligned again with the original design I drew for you before time began. So, my child, do not blame me for your enemy's deeds. Do not confuse my correction with condemnation. Do not mistake my silence for absence. I don't always shout sometimes, I move quietly, so your heart can learn to trust even when I do not speak. And real love is not always loud. I am still at work, even when your eyes cannot see. I am still loving, even when you feel unworthy, when the weight of your choices crushes down on you. I do not gloat. Do not retreat. Do not ignore. Instead, I remind you, do you remember? I warned you about that path, not because I wanted control, but because I knew it would hurt you. And even when you forget me, I remember you. I do not welcome you with a scolding glare, but with open arms. Not saying, "I told you so," but let's begin again. I do not need you to be perfect to love you. I only need you to be honest. I do not demand you fix everything overnight. I only ask for one step, even if it's slow, trembling, or full of fear. Just one step toward me, and I will do the rest. My beloved child, if all you know of me is through the distortions others have placed upon me, then today, I invite you to lay those misconceptions down. Let me, yes, me speak to you about myself, not through religion, not through people, not through your past wounds, but through my own heart full of mercy. I know you, not just the parts you let the world see, but even the things you've never dared to say out loud. I know the days when you try to appear strong while you're falling apart inside. I know the nights when you lay your head on the pillow, wishing you wouldn't wake up. I see every time you smile to hide your tears. Say, "I'm fine," while your soul is crying out. You cannot hide from me. And you don't need to, because my eyes have never left you. I have seen how the enemy twisted truth with lies and whispered them into your ears. I've seen you believe that I'm a harsh judge, distant and cold, eager to punish. But, oh, dear one, none of that is true. I am not against you. I am the one who stepped into history for you. I am the one who chose to bleed instead of condemn, to suffer instead of abandon, to carry the cross instead of turning away. There is no greater love than this. I didn't write the painful chapters of your life, but I long to be the author of your healing. When you were betrayed, I didn't stand still. I drew near to be your refuge. When you were hurt, I didn't turn away. I embraced that pain and carried it with you. When you were lost, I didn't fold my arms. I walked into the dark to find you. Do you think I want to punish you for your mistakes? No. I want to pull you out of the pit you cannot escape on your own. I am not like those who hurt you. I do not abandon you in your weakness. I do not change when you fail. I do not withdraw my love when you feel unworthy. I do not betray, mock, or ignore. My love does not come and go. It is not shaken by your feelings or behavior. It is eternal. It is unshakable. It is me. When you are angry with me, I do not retaliate. When you turn away, I still call your name. When you hide, I still search for you. When you accuse me, I do not argue, I simply open my arms. Because I don't need you to be right, I need you to come. I can handle your anger, your disappointment, even your deepest doubt. But can you handle my love, a love so vast, so relentless, so faithful that nothing can break it? Stop hiding. Child, stop living as if I am a stranger. Don't believe I've turned my back on you. Closed doors are not abandonment. They are my protection. My silence is not forgetfulness. It is a whisper, and I need you to come closer to hear it. What you thought were obstacles may very well be my love shielding you from what you cannot yet see. Lift your face. Look into my eyes. You won't find anger. You won't find disappointment. You won't find distance. You'll find eyes full of tenderness, patience, mercy, and hope. I still believe in you. I'm still waiting for you. I still choose you, even after all the times you didn't choose me. And if you choose me today, everything can begin again. No penance required. No price to pay. Just believe. Believe that I am the healer. Believe that I am the Savior. Believe that I am the one who never gives up. And above all, I believe that I am loved not just in word, but in every act I have done, am doing, and will always do for you. Don't let another day pass in the shadows of doubt. Don't live another season behind a mask of strength. Lay down your defenses. Come to me like a child, with simple trust. Tell me what you've never dared tell anyone. Hand me the shattered pieces you don't know what to do with. I will do what you cannot. My beloved, I've seen you striving to be strong. I've seen you fighting alone, trying to stand firm when life knocks you down, trying to smile when all you want is to scream in exhaustion. I am no stranger to pain. I, too, was misunderstood, rejected, crucified by those I loved. So I understand you more than anyone ever could. I have not come to demand perfect strength from you, but to offer you shelter in your weakness. I am not asking you to pull yourself up. I am saying, let me carry you through the storm, because what I desire most is not for you to win alone, but to know you never have to fight alone again. You've been conditioned to believe you must earn love since childhood. Maybe you've learned that only when you succeed, behave, or stay out of trouble are you accepted. But I am not them. I am the one who created you, and I loved you before you ever did anything right. My love does not demand performance. It is not based on perfection, but on my eternal choice. I chose you not because you're good enough, but because you are mine, and once you belong to me, nothing can separate you from that love. Not sin, not weakness, not failure, not lostness. How many times have you thought, I have to change before I come to God? But dear one, if you could change yourself, you wouldn't need me. I don't need you to come perfectly. I need you to come sincerely. If it's messy, ashamed, or broken, if it's real, I'll embrace it. It is in the depths of your ruin that I create new things. It is when you have nothing to cling to that I become your unshakable foundation. And when you have no words left to pray, even your silent sobs are prayers I understand completely. You may have turned your back on me many times, but I have never turned my face from you. You may have fallen silent, but I have never stopped calling your name. Each morning you open your eyes is proof that my grace is still with you. You are not a burden. You are the reason I came to earth. I bore the lashes for you, was crucified so you could live, not to make you feel guilty, but to show you you are worth it. And nothing, no gossip, no condemnation, no shadow can erase that worth in my eyes. So today, if your heart is still hesitant, if you feel unready, remember this: I am not waiting for a perfect version of you. I'm waiting for you as you are, with your confusion, with your doubts, with your anger, your bitterness, and your longing to be loved. Bring it all to me. Don't hide anymore. Don't hold back. Place it all in my hands and you'll see. My love not only forgives, it heals. Not only heals, but transforms. Not only transforms, but restores you to the place you were created to live, in my presence, in my peace, and in the eternal purpose I've set for you. Child, I know you're afraid that if you return, I won't be the same, that my love has faded through the years, through your wanderings. But, oh, my beloved, I do not love like people do. My love does not wear down over time, does not withdraw when wounded. I loved you when you had nothing to offer. I chose you while you were still in the dark. And now, no matter how many wounds, how much shame, how many regrets you carry, I still look at you with the same gaze I had at the beginning, the gaze of a creator looking upon what he calls very good. And well, you've tried many roads, followed many voices. You've chased after what the world promised would make you happy, only to feel emptier each time. You've tasted success without peace, had relationships, yet felt alone. You've reached the end of paths that were supposed to fulfill you, only to discover your soul is still starving, still thirsty, still wandering. And I am still the only living well you can return to. I am still the home you've never been denied entrance to. You don't need to fix yourself before coming back. Don't wait until you're better. Don't strive to be worthy. If you could save yourself, I wouldn't have had to die for you. But you can't, and I know that. So I bore the burden no one else could bear. All I need from you is a heart that knows it needs me. A weary soul brave enough to whisper, "Father, I cannot go on without you. I won't dwell on the wrong paths you've taken. I'll walk with you on the road ahead." If your heart feels softening right now, if something within you is quietly stirred, then, my child, that is me touching you. Not words, not poetry, not music, but my spirit moving in you. You didn't hear these words by chance. I've been preparing this moment for a long time because I knew a day would come when your heart would listen. And today is that day. You don't need anything more. You don't need to understand every doctrine. You only need to say, "Lord, I hear you, and I'm coming home." Let nothing hold you back now. Don't let shame to your feet. Don't let the voice of the enemy drag your past into your future. Let me be the final word in your heart today, not a word of threat, but an invitation, not a sentence of judgment, but a declaration of love. I cannot promise you'll never hurt again, but I promise you will never be alone again. You will no longer have to strive just to survive. You will no longer wear a mask just to be accepted. You will live as one forgiven, beloved, and guided step by step, day by day, in my embrace. My beloved child, you are not what you have done. Sin does not define your identity. Your past holds no authority to dictate your future. No matter how many failures you carry, no matter how many mistakes you've made, I still see within you the potential I placed there untouched, unspoiled, unbroken. You may have forgotten who you are, but I never have. In my eyes, you are still the one I dreamed of before you were even formed. You are not defined by what others say, but by what I declared when I created you with my very breath. You've spent too much time trying to please others, trying to prove that you're worthy. You're weary from pretending to be strong while inside you've been breaking. But I don't need that performance. I don't need a better version of you. I want you to come just as you are tired, wounded, confused, because it is in that very place that my grace is made perfect. I am not afraid of the ruins, for I am the one who builds from ashes. I do not fear the dark, for I am the light that pierces the deepest night. You cannot heal yourself. Don't try to patch the broken places with logic, habits, or temporary fixes. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. True love doesn't wait for perfection. It is love that makes you whole. Let me love you in a way no one else ever could. Let me touch the places in your heart no one has ever seen. You don't have to stay strong in front of me. Let the tears fall. Let the things you've hidden melt in my presence. because the moment you let go is the moment I begin. My child, there is nothing more sacred than the moment you realize you need me. There is nothing more powerful than true surrender. When you humble yourself, you are not brought low, you are lifted up. When you admit your wrongs, you are not cast out, you are healed. When you return, you do not find a locked door, you find me standing there. Eyes full of tears, arms wide open, heart ablaze. I have been waiting for you. Every day, every night, in every breath you thought was meaningless. I was there. And now, as you hear me more clearly than ever before respond, let this moment be the turning point of your life. Not just a fleeting emotion, but a real redirection. Rise. Come home. Don't just feel something, decide. Don't just see the light, step into it. I don't need you to understand everything. I only need you to take one step, and I will make the way clear. Then you will see true life, true joy, true peace. These are not far off, but waiting for you now, in my embrace. My beloved, you've let too many voices define your worth. Words from the past still echo in your mind. Words of criticism, condemnation, comparison, and diminishment. You've believed them for so long you've mistaken them for truth. But today I want you to know, no one but me has the right to tell you who you are. Not the past, not your mistakes, not those who left you or hurt you. I am your creator. And when I look at you, I don't see failure. I see untapped potential. I see a warrior who has forgotten they were made to overcome. I see you trying to hide your weakness, the cracks, the painful memories, the choices you regret. But child, I am not waiting for a masked version of you. I am waiting for the truth, because only in truth can healing begin. You don't have to disguise yourself before me. I am light, and I do not shrink back from the darkness in you. I enter it to ignite hope, to tell you this: you can still live a whole life, even when it feels like everything has fallen apart. You may think something in you is too late. A broken relationship, a lost dream, a missed opportunity, a life that's drifted too far from what is right. But I am not bound by time. I am not limited by what you've lost. I am the restorer. I make the barren fruitful. I turn wastelands into gardens. I raise dry bones to life. What you thought was the end, I can turn into a new beginning if you let me touch that part of your life. I don't just want to heal your wounds. I want to renew your whole being. Not by demanding you try harder, but by calling you to surrender deeper. I won't force you to change with a rod. I will touch your heart with kindness. My love does not drive you away, it draws you near. It does not shame you, it gives you courage. It does not coerce, it invites. It does not discourage, it lifts. I don't promise there won't be trials, but I promise you'll never face them alone again. And when you are in me, when you enter into true life, you will know what real freedom means. No more straining under others' expectations. No more masks for acceptance. No more turmoil in a healthy body, but an exhausted soul. Instead, freedom as a child who knows they are loved, chosen, and sent with purpose. I will show you how to live with strength, not your own, but from my spirit within you. When you know you belong to me, nothing out there has the power to define you anymore, because you no longer live for approval. You live from a place already approved. Child, don't let the noise of busyness drown out my whisper. Don't let the bright lights of this world dim the true light that comes from me. I know you are pushing yourself through each day. I see you smile in moments when your heart is breaking. You think just one more effort will make things better. But the truth is, what you need is not more striving, but surrender to my arms. I didn't come to help you carry more. I came to carry it all. You weren't made to manage on your own. You were made to walk with me. And if you are weary, that is a sign you've drifted from me. I do not stand above you, waiting for you to fall. I walk with you through every turn. You may not feel me, but I am always there behind your tears, in the midnight anxieties, in the prayers you never put into words. There is no fear you bear that I haven't seen, no pit so deep that my arm cannot reach in and pull you out. I didn't come to fix a little, I came to transform completely, and I won't leave while you are unfinished. What I begin, I will complete, for my love never grows weary. Don't measure your worth by your current state. Don't think that because you are lost, you are useless. Remember that Moses once took a life, yet I still used him to lead a nation out of Egypt. Remember that David fell terribly, yet I still called him a man after my own heart. And Peter, who denied me in the dark, I still chose to lead my first church. You see, I don't choose the perfect. I choose those willing to return. And if you dare take one step toward me, I can do wonders with the rest of your life. I know you still have questions unanswered. I know there are broken pieces in your story that don't make sense. But you don't need to understand everything to trust me. Give me your heart, and I will walk you through what you don't understand. I won't promise a clear map, but I promise you will never have to walk alone. When you are weak, I will be your strength. When you fall, I will lift you. When you lose your way, I will be your light. And when all else is silent, I will still be the whisper that remains. So, my child, come back. Not because I am angry, not because I want to punish, but because I miss you, because I long to see you live the life I created you for. Don't wait for everything to collapse before you turn. Don't let sin write your ending. Don't let the enemy's voice be the last one that echoes. Let mine be the voice that calls you home. Let my arms be where you stop. And start again, not a life under your control, but a life led, protected, and completed by me, because I do not fail. My love does not fail, and you are a part of that love, my child. Now open your heart and lift up your prayer to me, not only with your lips, but with the deepest cries of your soul. Do not hide. Do not fear. Let every word pour forth like water, for I am listening to every breath you offer. O Almighty and merciful God, I come before you with a heart that bleeds, yet dares to hope. For years, I have called my suffering a punishment from you, but now I believed a voice that was not yours. Forgive me for mistaking the hand of the destroyer as the hand of the Father. Heal the places within me where the image of love has been distorted. I no longer want to run from you. Draw me close. Wrap me in your presence, and teach me to live as one who is unconditionally loved. Gracious Father, there are moments when I feel consumed by the chaos within my mind. I doubt myself. I doubt you. And I forget that I was once called by your name. Help me understand that your silence is not abandonment, but an invitation to draw nearer. I am weary from chasing the world's noise while your gentle whisper waits faithfully. Break down the walls within me. Come as light breaking through. And teach me to surrender, not out of fear, but because of love. Lord, Creator of my soul, the one who still calls me beloved. I know I've believed lies for far too long. I thought I was not enough, that I had to do something to be worthy of love. But today, in your stillness, I hear the voice of truth, that I am chosen, forgiven, and restored by the blood of Jesus Christ. Help me to lay down the burden of condemnation. Teach me to receive grace, not as an excuse to fall again, but as the strength to walk in the freedom you have already given. O true and faithful God, I no longer want to live another day in the gray space between doubt and belief. I am tired of pretending to be okay when my heart is in turmoil. Today, I do not offer a perfect prayer. I offer a cry from the depths of my soul. Save me. Pour your love into the barren places within me. Draw me near, not as a sinner cast out, but as a lost child welcomed home. Begin again in me starting today. Giver of life and hope, I stand before you not to demand, but to surrender. I have dwelt too long in the shadows of shame, self-condemnation, and confusion. Yet your word both breaks and revives my heart. Take away the silent burdens I still carry. Lay your hand upon my forehead. Grant me a sound mind, etinahat, and strong feet to return to you. Lead me, step by step, back to the path you have prepared, and let me never turn back to where I once was. Father, I cannot count the times you have forgiven me, nor can I measure the depth of your mercy, but this I know, you were there in my darkest nights, in my tears, in my repentance, even in the times I didn't know how much I needed you. I thank you for your loving correction, for the times you stopped me before I fell deeper. Thank you for disciplining me not to hurt me, but to bring me to life. Lord, I thank you for the calling you have never taken back, for the plans you still have for me, even after all the times I've gone astray. Thank you for not judging me by my failures, but by the potential you planted in me from the beginning. You saw goodness in me, even when I only saw brokenness. I thank you for a love too vast to measure, and a grace too deep to fully comprehend. I cannot repay it, but I offer my heart to live in a way worthy of such mercy. O God, my never-failing comforter, I thank you that you are not only holy, you are near. You are not so lofty as to ignore my tears. Thank you for not despising me in weakness, for not withdrawing when I falter, for not rejecting me when I'm confused. Thank you for holding on when I wanted to give up. Thank you for always being there silent, but filled with love. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so together we can build a strong community of faith